is up, bros? I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we are a couple of bros on a mission to give you guys the most detailed movie reviews out there with as little bias as possible. Welcome to the All Bros. This week we are joined by none other than Mykie T from Failing Hollywood. Mykie, you want to say hi?
What's up, guys?
Hell yeah. Mikey's here to talk, or with us to talk about one new movie coming out in 4K Spotlight. And then we are going to get right into our breakdown of Asteroid City. Without further ado, let's say we get into it.
Need motivation? Angry Dad Podcast. Trying to jumpstart your life? Angry Dad Podcast. You want help getting off the couch? Angry Dad Podcast. You need a verbal kick in the ass? Angry Dad Podcast. You want to hear from somebody who's been through it all? Angry Dad Podcast. I am here for you. You can find me on all podcast platforms.
That reminds me, seeing Angry Dad Ben Bowman right there go off in there. This week, we just made you guys a whole bunch of like bumpers and ads and stuff like that. That's like show specific to you. So I'm going to send you those, and I think they're pretty fun.
Sweet, dude. I've had yours like set up. Like I have like a whole video, like exactly what I did for Ben, like ready to go.
Yeah, no, we got. I got a, and you could. I think like we just got a bunch thrown in that we just kind of like riffed a little bit. I mean, a lot of them are just like, is he Jonathan or is he Rose? But and it gets, it's Johnny Rose. But we kind of had fun and just riff on him. So I'm just gonna send you all of them, and then you can just pick your favorite and throw in there.
Perfect.
Dude, that's awesome. Thank you.
Oh, well, starting off in 4K. Hi. Oh, balls.
And also welcome to the show, Caleb's daughter.
Yep. What's going on, Sam?
Hello, Sam.
Yeah. Sam is easily our number one fan out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, cool. I mean, beautiful picture. Beautiful picture.
Right? Seriously. It's gorgeous.
I know. It's like his face on a little person's body pole dancing or something.
Looks like it, yep.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so first up, in 4K Spotlight, and I have that set up.
There we go.
We got Rose. If you want to take this, I'm pretty struggling today, but
dude, I freaking struggled. I didn't even have it up yet.
Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse is coming out.
Yes.
So you want to walk us through?
I would love to.
What's happening with that?
So Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is coming out this Tuesday. Arguably the best animated film of the year. I don't know, Mikey, have you seen it?
No, but I didn't see the original one either. I think it goes into just me not being a huge Marvel guy, but everybody says regardless I should see these ones.
I honestly would agree with them. Like I get like not Marvel's become stale, but just like it's gotten a little too much. But right. I don't know. I feel like these Spider-Man movies they definitely stand out above the crowd.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's on my list just because Nick Cage plays the Spider-Man noir, I guess, in the first one. So and we're doing that Nick Cage breakdown, so that's why it's like on my must-see list still. Even though
that's fair.
Part, but yeah. So I think once I get, because there's only two of them, right? It's like that one and then this one.
Yeah, and then freaking, I found it was crazy that like Sony was saying, oh yeah, the next one, the third one's gonna come out next year, and then like a month ago they're just like, yeah, no, we're gonna take that off of our schedule, and we have no idea when that's going to come out.
Oh, but it's going to come out. So it's a writer's strike thing. It's a writer's strike.
Well, I don't know if it was a writer's strike, just because even before the writer's strike, animators were coming out and saying we barely even started animating the third one. So there's no way that we can even get close to what the date that Sony is saying that Beyond the Spider-Verse is coming out.
I'm pretty sure the animators went on strike recently. I mean, that could be over too, or they're trying to unionize. I think they're trying to unionize. So that's separate, I guess. But they're trying to organize to unionize because I don't think that they're part of a union and they get paid like shit.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't blame them for like the shit that they said that they went through with barely making the cutoff to get this movie out. Like, yeah, I don't blame them for going on strike. They went through so much hell trying to get this thing complete.
Yeah. I mean, but like, I don't know any movie or TV show that isn't being pushed at this point because of all that. And it could be all be the same reason, but
that's a good point.
Strike or whatever. It's like Skeleton Crew just got pushed another few months also, which I'm kind of disappointed about.
Oh man. I mean, it sucks as someone that likes to consume content, but like, good for them. Like, I would rather wait until I know that the people that are bringing that content are being treated fairly and actually get a good product than having something rushed and have that guilt. Like,
I mean, that's really the point. Regardless, it's also because then we finally get to the point where content's starting to run out and they're going to start slipping because up until now, Netflix and shit has been like, well, we saved so much money and we've been dropping so much content still. It's like, yeah, they're going to run out.
Yeah,
dude. I'm catching up on all these shows that I've been wanting to watch like for a while, or just like older shows that I'm watching with less than legal methods.
Yeah,
but
shows like what shows?
You guys are probably gonna think I'm lame, but have you ever heard of Shaolin Showdown?
No.
Neither
it's an animated show from, like, I wouldn't say like way back when, but it was on WB. It was like on the same channel that like the Adventures of Jackie Chan was on.
Oh, interesting.
Like Code Lyoko. It's like just a show that I feel like slid under the radar. I remember it being so good. I've been rewatching that, and it holds up like surprisingly well.
Well, that's cool.
And so I've been rewatching that. But yeah, like I'm pretty much caught up on all the other shows that I've been wanting to watch. Like, I've been watching like The Bear.
I still need to watch that.
Me too. I've seen the first 2 episodes, I think.
Oh man, dude, like that show, at least the first season, like continually kept getting me worked up because it like just throws on like the restaurant stress on you,
right?
Like so hard, and you start to feel it. And I think that's a big part of why I liked it so much, is because I like when a show can make me feel things like that.
Yeah.
But I could usually, like with shows, I could just binge them all and be good to go. But that one, I could do 2 max, and like I had to take a break because I'm like I could feel my blood pressure rising.
Yeah.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah, I believe that.
But yeah, so I mean, the slowdown is I'm okay with.
Yeah.
At least until people figure shit out, and not like the people that are working, the higher ups.
I mean, they're talking, so I mean, it's hopefully a new deal came onto the table like for a freaking week ago, and the writers aren't satisfied with it still, so it's but they're not really leaving the room yet, so that's a good sign. They're keep bringing it back and keep talking about it. And apparently the deal that was put on the table this is for the writers, not SAG yet. So after they finish SAG, they're going to move to the table with the writer. I mean, with SAG. So the deal with the writers right now is, I guess it was pretty good, but there's still like key components that weren't reached in it that they still want them to touch on. I think that's like minimum in the writers' rooms and stuff like that. So where you can have like a show like Game of Thrones, and you still only have to hire one other person full time in the writer's room, which is like kind of fucked up on a show like that. Like, yeah, there's way too many elements to have one writer and release an episode weekly. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So they're trying to adjust stuff like that of a show of a certain budget to have minimums in the room. There's some other stuff too. Like, I think the residuals and the AI problems is drifting further away. I think they're starting to settle that shit. So that's like the key components.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
I'm ready to work.
So anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I've been hearing a bunch of people talking about like part-time jobs that they've picked up just to like make ends meet and how much that freaking blows.
Yep, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm delivering blueprints to construction sites for a printing company. So fun.
This sounds fun.
I mean,
It sounds super fun.
It's if I sat at home, I would go crazy though. So it's better than just sitting at home. It's and at least I don't really have to do anything like mentally. It's just here it is. Drive this over there. Cool.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But anyway, so anything else on this one, Rose, or?
Oh yeah, sorry. There's quite a bit. Sorry, I kind of got off on a tangent. So first we got just the regular 4K release of Spider-Verse. Next up we have just the regular Blu-ray.
Oh,
I think I kind of like the 4K better. I don't know
like
though.
the Blu-ray art better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is really cool. I think I like the best of coming up. There's a Target exclusive. It was one of the posters, and honestly, I kind of wish it was on the Steelbook or one of the Steelbooks. But so that's the regular Blu-ray. Here is the Walmart exclusive Steelbook.
I like that one.
It is cool. The Target exclusive. I actually wish that this was on a Steelbook. I freaking love. I don't know. I just love that poster.
Why are they Blu-ray, DVD, and digital? Why are they still putting DVDs in these things?
It's the only way to sell them, I guess.
Okay.
I was actually, I find fun. I've been actually like thinking of this recently. Like every single time that I go to, Best Buy now on Tuesdays, they are the only retailer that doesn't carry the DVD of a new release. You have to order that online now. Walmart and Target still do, but Best Buy, you have to order the DVD online. They are just, they're just strictly sticking to 4K and Blu-ray now, which I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, DVD, I'm shocked is still actually being produced. Like at this point, it should be obsolete, but whatever.
At Walmart, they always end up like, I don't care what movie it is, they always ending up in that $5 giant bucket in the middle of the aisle. You have
exactly, dude, straight up.
Dude, I feel like it's hard to even find a DVD player that doesn't run Blu-rays.
That's true.
Like, I don't know if they're still out there. I know you can get them at like thrift stores and whatnot, but like
maybe it will be the case
purchasing new.
Yeah, because VHS or VCRs now are like stupid expensive on eBay. Like you have to like dig. Maybe DVD players will be like that eventually. Maybe not.
That's
if you can
gonna be
always
very
play
interesting.
It in a 4K or Blu-ray player though.
Yeah,
that's fair. Because I swear you can still go to Walmart and like get a DVD player for like $20 to $30.
I bet, probably.
Dude, I got one from Walmart, a DVD player for that much, and it came with like it was Blu-ray accessible.
Really? Oh, damn. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, like it was freaking nuts. And then I went to like a freaking I actually paid more for a dual, like a DVD/VCR player than I did for a DVD player that can also play Blu-rays.
I never thought I'd live in a world that's the case, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Freaking nuts.
And then last but not least, the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook.
Ooh, that's my favorite.
Right? It's pretty damn cool. Like I will fully admit. But you see, if I were to choose the Steelbook art, I would put the Target exclusive. That type of artwork. Just I loved that poster when they first released it. And so I would just love to see that on a Steelbook. But I'm not in charge of these designs. I wish I was.
Yeah, I feel like we're always able to come up with some, at least with ones that are like really lame. We're usually able to come up with something better.
Yeah, you're not
at
wrong.
least on the spot.
No, because like you pointed out last week, most studios nowadays they'll literally just slap like the the character posters on each side of the steelbook, and then just like a bland image inside.
Yeah, usually like a freaking screenshot from the movie, and that's just lazy.
It is. No, it really is. So when freaking studios go above and beyond with this, like actual like artwork, freaking love that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, for Mykie, I don't know if you listened to us last week, but we were saying that like something studios should like try doing if they're going to go basic bitch with like the covers, is at least like on the insides, like hire some sort of like independent artist, like get a commission from them, or get something commissioned, slap it on the inside of the cover, so it's a little bit more like on the unique side.
I think they just need to start being creative with them. Period. I mean, there's like I have the steelbook for like Reservoir Dogs, and it's literally like it's like a gasoline can. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of like creativity you need to get. Like it even has like a pop top that comes off the top, and you do a stuff.
Oh, that's
or like
awesome.
What is it? Or like I mean, this is way back. Like the cassette. I don't know. Like when Indian in the Cupboard came out, they had like the cassette open, but you could flip the insert backwards and it could be a cupboard, and it came with like a little toy that you could put in. Like that shit was dope. Like that's the type of creativity you need to start thinking with this shit. Like make it a whole thing that represents the movie itself, and like something more than a graphic, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I freaking remember that that case, because me and my brothers, we had that movie. And we freaking lost the case eventually, because we started playing with the damn case like a toy, and then we like lost it or broke or something happened and it got tossed. So we only had Indian in the Cupboard like on the like a open VHS. But
I think I have it on the wall here somewhere. I was like, I'm trying to. It's gonna take me forever to find it.
Dude, that movie is a freaking throwback. Like, that's a damn good movie.
It was a good movie.
But yeah, they need to get a little bit more creative.
Totally.
Like take a more artistic route.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You can write a full movie. You can come up with something for a case for it.
Exactly. Although I don't know how much longer physical media is going to be around. So
it's true.
Unfortunately, I don't know if there is even a point.
Yeah.
And that pains me to say.
Yeah, I don't know how much they're making off these anyway. Enough to still do them, but it can't be too crazy.
That's true. I mean, honestly, I'm like shocked when like a movie that was clearly a box office bomb gets like so many different exclusives. It's like, really, you're willing to like shell out the amount of money it takes for you to produce these, even though your movie didn't even make half what it cost to produce. Like, I don't know. Just,
it's probably because they know they can rely on freaking diehards or people that like collect steelbooks and shit.
Are you calling me out?
I am absolutely calling you out.
All right, fair enough. You got a point. Yeah, that's all I got for 4K. So yeah, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Well, sweet. But yeah, like we said, we did not have anything for Through the Wall. So without further ado, let's say we get into this freaking breakdown of Asteroid City.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, like we said, we will be breaking down Asteroid City this week. We did ask a question of the week. We got a few responses. So the question that we asked is, what's the craziest alien-related story that you know of? I probably should have been more specific. I was thinking like more like real aliens. But I like that's what I like was initially thinking, but I recognize now that it was a very open-ended question.
Yeah, and coming from a movie review podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll just go through these answers that we got. The first one is coming from Stan Lee the Goat, who said Aliens 1979.
Not too crazy though. I mean, it's OG story.
Yeah.
I will be 100% honest. I haven't seen any of the Alien movies.
Oh man.
Neither have I.
Oh man.
I know we suck.
I know.
All right, Caleb, we're canceled.
Dude, which is
I
crazy
know.
because like
You guys just
my wife
hate women, don't you?
Yep, yeah.
You guys just don't want to support Sigourney Weaver, huh?
Hey,
Oh, man,
I know she's not a main character in it, but Ghostbusters is my favorite movie, so I'm still supporting her, right?
Yeah, sure.
Whatever makes you feel better.
I mean, it helps me feel better a little bit.
No,
the Alien series is like my wife's favorite, so I'm surprised she hasn't like made me sit down and watch it, because she keeps talking about it. She keeps saying like, oh, I need to see all the Aliens, and then she wants me to watch all the Predators, only because of, like, I watched the 2018 Predator movie, and like I thought that one was okay. I thought there was some weird shit, but I was like, I mean, it was all right. I thought Prey was sick.
right.
Yeah, Prey was really good.
So you guys are watching all that stuff. I mean, the Alien movies are way better than the Predator movies too.
Okay. Like, I mean, I remember Alien versus Predator when it came out, only specifically because Freddy versus Jason came out around the same time. So like everyone was going crazy for that one, and I'm just like, well, why is no one giving any love for Freddy versus Jason? That was me as a kid. Just
like for the basis of like, I mean, if you look at just the history of Aliens, it's like Alien was a Ridley Scott movie, so like just infamous, amazing director that almost anything he puts out is gold. Then Aliens, the sequel, comes out, and who else does that? James Cameron. So it's like you have amazing director after amazing director like putting their craft into this crazy alien horror movie. You know what I mean? So I think those reasons alone are why it's like worth checking out. You know,
fair enough.
That's fair. We are gonna. I am going to like sit down and eventually do all those, and maybe I'll make like an Alien versus Predator week or couple weeks on our TikTok.
I think my brother looked at it and it's like, there's like, if you do all the Predator and Alien movies, it's like 14 movies or something like that. It's like stupid, insane. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I could be over exaggerating, but it's up there.
I mean, I wouldn't surprise
me.
Like,
mad respect to him for doing the movie challenges like he's doing. Like when he came back and was saying that he watched like all the Fast and Furious movies, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like
I'm really, because I half the suggestions that he's getting in are coming from me, and I'm trying to give him like the scrape of the barrel. It's like, dude, put all the Anaconda movies on there. It's like, fuck, dude, you got to put Tremors. You got to watch all the Tremors. Like, you fucking have to.
Oh my god,
it's like amazing. It's like after the first one they kind of died, but I mean the last Tremors movie that came out, they did it in like Thailand or some shit. It's like, you gotta watch the Tremors, man. Like, so he's gonna hit some dog soon.
Yeah, he's been knocking out like a lot of the good ones.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
it's really his own fault though, because he didn't really. I mean, I was his brother, and he still didn't see most of the classics. Like the fact that he hadn't seen any of the Jurassic Park movies before this past month is like absurd to me, because I've seen those original 3 close to 100 times, and it blows me away that he was around the house and didn't even like see it over my shoulder or anything. I mean, granted, I guess he was like 10 when I moved out, but still.
Yeah. Well, I mean that I think that's just a younger brother thing, because like my younger brothers, like stuff I know I watched, like they haven't seen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, like even because me and my brother were only 4 years apart, or between me and my youngest, and there's a bunch of stuff that he's like, oh, I've never seen that, and I'm like,
how?
I have, and I remember watching it at home.
Yeah.
And he's like, I probably didn't watch it because you were watching it. Yeah. I'm like, fair. But So yeah, we got Aliens 1979. So Rose,
I'm gonna go.
We only got like a few, so we'll just
Yeah.
jump back and forth.
All right. I'm gonna go with Jacob Marks 80. Mars Attacks. I freaking love that movie.
Yeah.
That movie doesn't get enough love. That's all I'm
Dude,
gonna
that
say.
movie scared the shit out of me when I was young.
Dude, freaking Spirit Halloween showcased all their animatronics for this year, and they actually did one of the aliens, or yeah, one of the Martians for this they're like, wow, English.
It's hard.
It is, thank you. They did one of the Martians as one of their animatronics for this season, and like it's not perfect. Like they did miss some key attention to detail, but it still looks pretty damn cool.
Oh man, dude, I remember watching that over my grandpa's shoulder when we were visiting him one time when I was like, I want to say 7 or 8, and I was also like, just so you guys get a feel for the type of household I grew up in. My dad practically raised us on Westerns. So John
cool.
Wayne movies, like that was like the main staple in our house. So it's John Wayne movies and like whatever Pixar, Disney movies were coming out at the time. So anytime I'd say that a movie was fake or like made a comment, my dad would say, "Oh no, like these movies are real." And so I just started thinking like all movies are real.
Oh.
And then
God.
yeah, and so there was like,
So Mars Attacks? No.
yeah, so now like I think like I knew to a point that it wasn't, but it was still like at that point because my dad had to explain to me that all movies aren't real because I was watching The Punisher. There was like a Punisher movie that came out, and there was this dude with piercings and he was like getting tortured and like getting them ripped out and whatnot. And so I was like, again, watching that from behind my dad's back, and he like kind of like started moving, so I ducked behind the couch, and then I like peeked up and saw what was happening to this dude, and then like ducked down, and then all I hear is him screaming, and I'm like, it's seared into my brain, like just like, oh my gosh. And so I freaking like bounced and was like having issues with it. So my dad explained to me movies are fake.
Yeah.
And so I knew by the time I got to like sneak watching Mars Attacks, I knew that movies were fake, but I was like, it was still fresh.
Right.
And so I still hadn't like fully accepted that.
Yeah.
And so I sat there, watched it for a minute, got totally freaked out. And then I remember sitting in my grandpa's like guest room, just like, okay, it's fake. It's fake. It's fake.
I thought you were going to say you immediately downloaded the song that they use to kill the Martians on your iPod.
Oh my God.
Just in case.
Oh. Yeah, it took a hot minute for me to like. It took a while before I was just like, oh yeah, this is fake.
Dude, I'm glad I didn't grow up with that shit. Imagine if I grew up thinking that like freaking like Halloween, Child's Play, Nightmare on Elm Street was real. Oh hell no.
Yeah, oof,
I need therapy. I would need
absolutely not.
years of therapy.
I woke up
Jesus.
one time I think I walked in as like a super little kid. And my dad was watching a movie, I think it was called Serial Killer or something like that. And it was like where just kids were just getting murdered off and guts were being pulled out in like a school and some shit. And it like scarred me for a long time. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, I feel like I probably couldn't even watch that movie again because it would probably like bring back trauma. Like,
Dude, understandable.
Yeah.
Dude, that's something I love about movies. Because like if you have like a guttural reaction like that to a movie, like that freaking sticks with you forever.
Yeah.
Like I will still go back and like rewatch that Punisher movie every now and then, and when that scene comes around, I feel like exactly how I did when I was young. I feel like sick to my stomach. Like I have to like force myself to get through it and just like taking deep breaths.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, it's fake. Like it's a freaking process, and then I get through that scene and I'm fine. But like, it's weird because it's like I've seen worse shit than that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whatever. But that scene comes along, like it doesn't even show anything.
Right.
and then I'm like, I'm back to that scene, and I'm like back to that little kid behind the couch, just like flipping out. Oh, but dude, it's so funny. Gosh, this is another side tangent, but my dad, like his idol is freaking John Wayne, and I remember bringing up that
Gacy? I'm just kidding.
no,
Sorry, I had to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember bringing up that maybe John Wayne isn't as cool as we think he is, and he got like super upset about it.
Yeah.
And
You like, have you ever even heard of Clint Eastwood?
yeah, and I'm like, cool, like, yeah, he portrays a lot of badass characters, but you need to think, like, in the end, he's basically just a theater kid.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, and you used to like beat those guys up.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. When people talk about De Niro,
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he's exactly.
I mean, I wouldn't talk about Pesci though, because didn't he like hire somebody to like kill someone or some shit? Or maybe that's allegedly.
Not
Yeah, I think that's an
Mar. No, that's
allegedly.
Harry. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's just like shit like that, where it's like, oh, like this dude's such a badass. I'm like, is he though?
Yeah.
Anyway, next response comes to us from Jackson, who just said Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, fair.
I
Yeah,
love it.
like if there's an alien among us, it's freaking him.
Oh no, I mean it was
Yeah.
probably Elon Musk more so. Have you seen what that guy looks like?
Dude, they're both funky
Yeah.
looking.
They're both
Yeah.
funny.
Like they could
they
both.
are.
Maybe that's why they have like beef. They're just like feuding alien races.
Maybe. I mean, and Musk named his kid like or something like that.
What the hell?
Like A5
Okay.
weird symbol 77 or whatever.
Yeah, and then what was it? The state of California is like, you can't put numbers in a name.
Yeah.
So that's a great response.
That is.
And then
Wow.
we got a response from Failing Hollywood.
That's right. What did I say? Evolution. Definitely one of the best alien stories of all time. Fictional, obviously, because I guess specifications, right?
Yeah. Just for Caleb. Just for Caleb.
Yeah, just for me.
Yeah.
Evolution is I didn't get to see that until I was an adult, and that movie is the shit.
Yeah. Evolution's a fun movie.
Feel bad I've never seen it.
What was the
I'm
other
sorry.
movie I put? It was
Killer Clowns from Outer
Killer Clowns
Space.
from Outer Space. Yeah. Can't forget that.
Love that movie.
If aliens came down and there were just a bunch of clowns, like, I think that would be the most scariest situation.
Freaking
Dude,
cocooning
I'm
you in
freaking
cotton
pumped
candy.
for the game.
That
Like,
looks
if you-
really good.
Oh, right.
The game looks freaking awesome.
It's going to be terrifying.
Very.
Yeah, but like, it's gonna be like a 3 on, I think 7, like online multiplayer. So you get like your team of 3, and like you're the 3 killer clowns, and you just like go and like beat people up, and then they try to like hunt you down.
Oh, that's pretty
But-
cool. But the
Yeah.
clowns have like are a little bit tougher and do more shit, probably.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
with they have like the cotton candy cocoon that you
Yeah.
can trap people in, like the ray guns. Like they have like all the shit from the movie, and I think a couple extra stuff that they weren't able to do. But yeah, like they have all of that stuff available as like weaponry to set up traps for people.
That is so awesome.
Like the game looks awesome. And I'm pumped to actually like watch the movie. Like I need to
Dude, you need
find
to
the time to.
It's such a fun watch.
No, I've been trying to freaking knock out a bunch of suggestions, like because we keep getting like hounded about watching other random shit.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm like, I'm gonna get them off our ass and watch this movie. And
What's the
so I'm
top
just like going
suggestion? What's the thing people are slamming your doors down mostly about?
well, it's not like ever multiple people. It's always like one person that's just like it gets to like maybe one comment here and there, and then it just gets to like every freaking video.
Oh, gotcha.
And like the first guy that we had was trying to get us to watch Rocky 4, which I was like, okay, yeah. So I finally got around to watch. Like I was going to watch all the Rockies, but he was like super insistent. So I'm like, okay, like I'll just freaking watch Rocky 4. And it was like right after we'd done Creed, so I was kind of on a kick there. Then when we did Turtle Week, it turned into Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie.
Okay.
Which that one was surprisingly good.
Right.
Although that one like took me off because I could have the ending like not caught me off guard, but I thought that the ending in the movie was Leonardo being set up to be the leader. Because like it felt like that way throughout the whole movie, but I forgot that that's how the show ended. I thought that's how the movie ended.
Dude, I thought that's how the show ended too, but I watched like all of the show. Like, unless there's like a secret season that's not on Netflix yet.
It might because like I've looked up like Rise of the Ninja Turtles ending, and yeah, that's how the show ended. Was Splinter been yeah, by the way, Blue's the leader now. Doesn't even address him as Leonardo. He's just like, oh yeah, Blue's the leader. Like, okay.
Yeah. Splinter doesn't refer to the turtles by their names. He calls them by their color.
Rude. But just I thought that's how the movie ended. For some reason, that's how I was remembering it. So when it just freaking like not abruptly ended, but didn't end with that, I'm like, wait, what the hell did I? Is it like an end credit scene or something?
Yeah. But yeah, like we were getting hounded for that one. King Kong has been one people have been, or
Which
someone's been. They wanted us to do the original one, and I'm like, dude,
like 1935 one, or
yeah. But I was able to talk him into letting us do the 2005 one
with Jack Black.
Yeah. Oh gosh, what's the other one? The other one that we've been getting a lot is from doing like the Lego movies, like Lego Ninjago.
Wasn't Phineas and Ferb one that went on for a good little bit?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Rango was one too.
Yeah, Rango was one. Oh, the Loud House movie, which is like some show on Nick that we haven't watched. So I'm like I've been asking them, I'm like, do you need to watch the show to get this movie? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah. Nah. I only got so much time in the week.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm like, we'll get to it. Like we will get to it. But yeah, we get a bunch of suggestions, so that's what we try to knock out. I mean, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
it's true.
But yeah, so anyway, thank you to everyone that answered our question of the week. We really appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you want to answer future questions of the week, we usually post those to Instagram and TikTok. So yeah. All right. Yeah. So finally getting into this breakdown. If you're new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we individually score to come to a final All Bros and Failing Hollywood letter grade. The 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, effects, music, costumes, and then we give it our own personal score at the very end. All of those numbers get magically added up and spit through our system and give us a letter grade to compare this to other movies of a similar grade, as well as a percentage that puts it in like a ranking, which is always fun to see where these end up. But yeah, so all those numbers will get added up and give us our official All Bros and Failing Hollywood letter grade. So without further ado, if you have not seen Asteroid City, Rose is about to spoil the entire freaking movie for you in our favorite segment that we like to call Reading with Rose. So, Rose, without further ado, you want to take this one?
I mean, I don't, but I guess I will.
Rose's favorite segment, Reading with Rose.
I'm
This
sorry,
is
it's my
everyone's
least
favorite segment except Rose.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the thing that I look forward to the least every single week. All right. Set in a retro-futuristic version of the 1950s, a TV host introduces a televised production of the in-universe fictional Asteroid City, a play by famed writer Conrad Earp. In the play, a youth astronomy convention is held in the fictional desert town of Asteroid City. The play's events are depicted in widescreen and stylized color, while the television special is seen in black and white Academy ratio. In the play, war photojournalist Augie Steinbeck, is it Steinbeck or Stein? It's Steinbeck, right?
Looks like Steinbeck.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you. Steinbeck arrives early to the Junior Stargazer convention with Woodrow, his intellectual teenage son, and his 3 younger daughters. When their car breaks down, Augie phones his father-in-law, Stanley, asking his help. Stanley, who dislikes his son-in-law, persuades him to tell the children about their mother's recent death, which Augie had concealed. Augie and Woodrow meet Midge Campbell, a famous but world-weary actress, and her daughter Dinah, who, like Woodrow, will be honored at the convention. Augie and Midge and Woodrow and Dinah gradually fall in love throughout the play. The other convention participants arrive: 5-star General Griff Gibson, astronomer Dr. Hickenlooper, 3 additional teenage honorees, Ricky, Clifford, and Shelley, and their parents, JJ, Roger, and Sandy. A busload of elementary school children chaperoned by young teacher June Douglas and a cowboy band led by singer Montana. A local motel provides everyone's accommodations. I forgot, I kind of forgot how many freaking characters are introduced in literally a 5-minute time span.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's so many. It's almost easier with this many characters to just be like, yeah. Then they call his father-in-law Tom Hanks and talks to him.
Seriously, though.
At least you follow it a little bit easier that way.
Honestly, I felt like throughout the movie, all I'm thinking of oh, hey, it's Robin from Stranger Things, and she's a teacher now. Right. I kept forgetting her name. I felt so bad.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston brings in what's his face into the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's oh man, every single character in this has such an easy name as far as the actor goes, but then all these I feel like Wes Anderson likes to give the most bizarre. I mean, just everything in here is Dr. Hickenlooper. Nothing's gonna be ordinary.
Yeah, seriously.
Sounds like a freaking Dr. Seuss book or something.
Dude, no joke.
Dude, seriously, that is a great way to put it. I love that.
Yeah.
Gibson welcomes the attendees at the Asteroid City crater, where the teenagers are to receive awards for various inventions. A UFO suddenly appears above the crater. An alien emerges and steals a fragment of the meteorite that created the crater. Augie photographs the alien. President Eisenhower and General Gibson order the town placed under military quarantine, and everyone is subjected to medical and psychiatric examinations. Meanwhile, a romance blossoms between Montana and June, who assure the students that the alien is likely peaceful. The Stargazer honorees use Dr. Hickenlooper's equipment to attempt to contact the alien. Using a guarded payphone, Ricky calls his school newspaper to relay the quarantine details and cover up to the outside world. The Asteroid City events become national news. A furious General Gibson is about to end the quarantine when the UFO reappears and the alien returns the meteorite fragment. When Gibson reinstates the quarantine, the children, scientists, and parents revolt, using the honorees' inventions to overpower the military.
This was ridiculous.
But I loved it. The play's creation is interspersed between the play. Sometime after Conrad Earp started writing, he meets with actor Jones Hall, who performs an audition in Earp's home and is immediately cast. During the same interaction, Earp and Hall kiss, establishing their relationship as lovers. Earp writes the play with help from a local acting school and recruits most cast members from it, including Mercedes Ford, a temperamental yet talented actress who plays Midge.
Sorry.
Is
that what that I thought I took it as watching this just real quick. Like, I didn't think like, oh, they're lovers now. I thought he was trying to like find the perfect character because he like jumped through different looks and everything. And I felt like, oh, he found the character and he fell in love with his own character so much that he felt the need to, like, that's how I interpreted it. I didn't interpret it as, oh, it's the actor auditioning and now they're lovers. Am I the only one?
Dude,
No.
that's exactly what I thought too.
Yeah,
I took it the
'cause
other.
he was going through like changes in the character and everything. I was like, he figured out what his character wants his character to be, not the guy nailed the audition.
I feel bad for not taking it the way you guys did because I actually like that better.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mind it.
I didn't either. Like it works, but like I don't know. I love the way that you guys took it. I don't know.
Because it seemed like things like even in him like trying to talk about it, like because he was clearly struggling with the story a little bit and like different things would kind of pop up. So I thought that was like the full play wasn't going on, and I didn't think he was like pushing auditions. It was just his way of like coming into like new thing and finding the character developing and his struggle in writing the script and the story. So that's how I took it all as. Like I thought that whole thing was just like and that's like kind of the Wes Anderson way, is just things as popping up and like all right, we found the story, here we go, now here's the play, you know what I mean? Because I don't know, reading in this description, I feel like this description should have been so much earlier because it was so much earlier in the movie, but like the way it's in, like this is way before the alien comes down and they do that thing happens, but now they're like,
That's
oh no,
true.
they established as lovers. Like, whoa. Okay.
Oh man.
No, I absolutely agree with you. No, like, you know, like I love the approach to, you know, like them being lovers. That's awesome. But I really like yours and Caleb's take on that. Like, I don't know how I didn't even think about that. That's like freaking genius.
Dude, okay. The only reason that I like took that is because I know that Wes Anderson movies are usually like thinkers. And so I was trying to like overanalyze like everything. And so I was just like, all right, I'm trying to pull meaning that I'm not quite seeing. And like, so that's how I was able to get to that conclusion. Like with that, but obviously I was wrong.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're fine. There's a full frontal scene of Scarlett Johansson in the mirror. I mean, probably not her, but I just got to throw that in there too.
Yes.
We're talking about the makeouts.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Now I know where I am. During the recorded performance of the play, Hall, who plays Augie, confronts the play's director, Schubert Green, saying he still doesn't understand the play and asks Green if he is doing him right. Green tells Hall to keep playing Augie the same way despite being uncertain and that he's doing him right. After that interaction, while taking a smoke break on a balcony, Hall runs into the actress who was cast to play Augie's wife before her only scene was cut. She recites the deleted scenes text to him.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. No, like seriously, I should just like be freaking just saying who freaking played them, because for a second I'm just like, wait, who played Augie's wife for a minute? I honestly forgot.
Margot Robbie's like only scene.
Yep. 6 months into the play's run, Conrad Earp dies in an automobile accident. In the play's epilogue, Augie and his family are the last to leave Asteroid City after General Gibson lifts the quarantine. Augie's daughters bury their mother's ashes in the desert, Woodrow wins the fellowship funding, and Midge leaves Augie her mailing address. Augie and his family quietly drive away.
Yep. General Gibson is Jeffrey Wright, by the way.
That is, yeah.
You know him from Westworld. What's it? Who else is in this movie? Oh, we have, was it the well, obviously you have Jason Schwartzman's the main character.
Yeah.
So all-star cast right there. Scarlett Johansson's the actress love interest. Which those scenes are my favorite. Sorry, are you done the description? Is that the
yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're good, man.
Can we tangent right now? Okay. I love the scenes. Like some of my favorite scenes are the window scenes with like her like acting it out between Jason Schwartzman and Scarlett Johansson as they're going, and their kind of little intermingle that they have. I thought a lot of that stuff was like really creative, and like a lot of the scene switchovers that happen. Bryan Cranston's the main host. The writer of the whole play, who's Conrad, is Edward Norton. Who else am I forgetting? Steve Carell. Steve Carell. He's the guy who does the maintenance for the cabins that they're all staying in.
Dude, this movie was
Matt
freaking.
Dillon's in it.
Yeah,
this movie
I
was
played the
freaking
repairman.
stacked.
Dude, seriously. Like, touching upon like what Mikey said earlier about how Edward Norton will do like those commercials just so he can afford to be in a Wes Anderson movie. I'm like wondering like how much of a pay cut some of these
I
actors
think
had to
everybody
take.
does. I think I guarantee you almost everybody does. I doubt he pays anybody, because if you pay one person, then everyone's going to get upset. I bet you maybe Jason Schwartzman was getting a decent paycheck, but I bet you even his wasn't like, he was probably getting paid most on this, and I bet you even that wasn't like crazy.
Because the budget was only $25 million.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's
it.
low.
Yeah.
That's probably
that's
all
it.
going into the sets. Like, let's be real. Like
Dude,
the set pieces
probably.
are everything in that. You know what I mean? And was it not that they had a whole lot of sets? And I don't think it's going to be that expensive to make like the inside of the crater. But that's actually the few. So that they had the crater, they had that diner, they had the cabins that they were kind of in, which again, they're kind of basic, and they're not a crazy amount of set dressing either. It's like very, I mean, everybody knows Wes Anderson films are very symmetrical and stuff like that. But you know what? They had to build an entire miniature for that. Like I saw a whole thing for like the whole train sequence that was all done with like scaled down miniatures and everything.
Yeah, I figured
That
that's
is so
what they were
cool.
doing. Dude, like the way that I like viewed how they did the sets is kind of like the same amount of quality that you would get in a play.
Right.
Yeah, same here. Like, and especially like how I feel a lot of shots are framed. It definitely screams that.
Well, that's most Wes Anderson movies.
That's true.
This is actually the first Wes Anderson movie I've seen that's actually like going into this movie, I thought very much it was. I've heard just like, okay, it's about this small town with 85 people that their main claim to fame is an asteroid hit there, and a family gets stuck there, and a whole bunch of stuff starts to come with aliens and the asteroid, and becomes like this big spectacle and this award thing. And I was like, okay, so that's what I thought it was about. So like when I sat down and started watching it and saw it's like, oh no, it's not actually the story about that. It's about this like washed up crazy writer that's trying to write his next play, like his TV play, in the process. That's why it meant so much with The Kiss, because I was like, oh, it's the process of a struggling writer trying to write a play and going through all the struggles that come with it, and then the hiccups, because there's like a halfway through the movie there's like a part where he like goes out and like talks to Jeff Goldblum for a minute and like, yeah, like I said, has like the smoke on the balcony and does all that stuff. But it's like it seems like the struggle in trying to write the story of the fucking play. So it was like, that's what it's mainly about, is like this struggling Edward Norton trying to go through to write this play and find the perfect combination to write his story. And then we're seeing the play unfold in reality in front of him. Which it is still about that. Maybe I just interpreted one thing about it a little bit differently, but it is very much still mostly about that. With a couple extra things coming into the actual, like that stuff that it wasn't shot as much as a Wes Anderson movie. I mean, it was, but like the play itself was like the Wes Anderson movie to the movie, if that makes any sense.
No, it definitely does.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but getting into like the story a bit more, I don't take notes on movies very often, but
Yeah.
I had to take some on this one, because I was like, there's too much happening. And one of the things that I felt with this story is like, and maybe it's just because like what I put is there a line where a film becomes too artsy?
Yes. I think there's a line of works. I think I know what you're gonna get towards, and I probably agree also to where I think there's a line to where it gets too bizarre and kind of doesn't act on, because I was kind of with the film and interested in and having a good time with it until I saw that alien thing come down, and I was like,
Oh
oh,
my
that just
hell.
looks so fucking terrible. I was like, why did they decide to go with this and pull out? Like, even when they try to like save it, it's like, oh, it's the guy in the costume and stuff like that. That's not enough to save, because it looked like a fucking animated thing coming down and the little legs, and it just coming down on a little T-bar and just like, like it kind of, that ruined a lot of the moment for me, because I didn't like, everything could have been okay, and not like you can't buy anything in this, but because it is what it is and is the nature of the movie, but you're with it. But that kind of pulled too far away from the rest of it going on, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude, I
That's
put
fair.
that this film feels like it's the film equivalent of a splatter painting in a museum. Where people go and they're like, oh, and they're pulling all this like meaning out of it, and I'm like, is it that deep? Like this easily, if Wes Anderson were to come out like tomorrow and say, hey, I just wanted to get a bunch of people together and do something kind of ridiculous and fun, like I'd absolutely believe that.
And I'd be okay with that, honestly.
Yeah. Like, it's just, if you wanted to do that, like just say that. Like it's just this crossed the line for me of being like, I try to, like, when I go into a movie, and regardless of what I think the story is or needs to be or whatever, like I try to pull like, what's the purpose of this story, like what's it trying to tell, and I couldn't get that throughout any of this. I'm like, even like once I got to the alien, like, okay, what are we doing, man?
Well, I think the alien was more what, like, I almost would have liked it and appreciated and been able to pull more from it if the alien thing didn't happen. Like, if maybe if they saw like a flying saucer while they're there and they're like, oh, okay, do this thing. But I don't feel like the alien coming down and trying to grab its the asteroid really took much into the story, because it kind of turned into that. But realistically, it was about them breaking down and like the death of these kids' mother, and trying to like put her ashes to rest at some point, and and going to meet with the grandfather and getting stuck in with the haps of the city is, and the actors, I mean the writer's story. So I think when you add like the alien and that, because the alien stuff, just that whole story part to it just went so bizarre and so far left, and it didn't really make sense to anything and really wasn't subjected to the rest of the story. I just don't get it. I don't get what they were trying to accomplish. They're like, oh, he's just trying to get his asteroid back, and then he gave it back. Like, like, what the fuck? You know?
You got a
Like,
point
oh,
there.
people just want to come to see the alien again, and then at the end they all leave. So it's like, I don't know what that accomplished at the end, but I think there's deep, like I said, I don't think there's deeper meaning in that. I think having like this spectacle of having the asteroid in there and doing the thing for them to all come, and like, what was it, the science fair like thing, I thought that was a cool thing. And then like the story to bury their mom, but I think the whole alien just kind of threw it off way too much. It added too much, and it added too much to be questioned, but I can get behind everything else. I think there's like deeper meaning behind everything else, just not the alien stuff. And it just looks terrible. Or I don't know if they were lazy with it, or they're just like, oh no, this they look like action figures. That's what we're gonna put it down as. Yeah.
It reminded me of like Aardman's like when they were like first getting onto like the animation scene with their like first claymation projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
That like straight up is what it reminded me of.
No, yeah, because like I would say everything else, it's like with like even their like scientific projects or what they had, like none of that looked too cartoony. You know what I mean? Like they looked like jetpacks and stuff like that. I mean, the way they're like flying and the stuff, it's Wes Anderson-y and it looks like that in that single screen thing, which I can appreciate, but none of the other stuff looked too far out of whack, you know?
Yeah.
That alien did though.
Yeah, that just a lot.
Honestly, it really pulled you out of the movie for a little, at least
totally
a little bit.
Did. I was like, me and my wife were both like, what the fuck is that? What's going on?
Dude, it's like anywhere that I thought the story was going to go, like I thought the story was going to be like have a main focus on like maybe the writer trying to come up with this story, and then it's just like obviously like on the other end it's like we're seeing the play go on, because anything that they talk about like, oh, like change it to scenes, or like, oh, it'd be more like, I think it'd be interesting if they did this or that, and like you see it happen. So it's like something that they talk about, you see that like eventually happen. And so like I thought that that's what that was going to be more like, but it's like that seemed like, at least like now in its entirety, that was such a minimal part. And then it's just like what the story, there was a bunch of like little storylines that just kind of didn't even like end. It was just kind of like it's like, okay, I guess that's the end of that, or I guess that's the end of that. And
kind of left. The whole thing towards the end where he's like with Bryan Cranston and talking to like the audience, and then they're like starting to like, oh, well, we'll reveal they're actors from the story or whatever. And it's just like, still not adding it. It's not adding anything for me. Like if you're trying to do something cool, it didn't work here either.
Dude, there was odd choices all around with this that pulls you out. Like I don't like, I forget who it was. Someone at like the vending machines, or someone like at the showers. And then it like kind of pans over and Bryan Cranston's there, and he's like, "Oh, am I not in this one?" Like,
oh yeah,
like,
dude, yeah, that threw me off. I'm like, wait, what the?
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, is this all part of the play?
Yeah. Maybe Bryan Cranston just showed up on the set that day wanting to check in. He's like, "We can put you in this one. let's just have you in." And be like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to be here."
Yeah, and another thing that I feel is like important with any sort of going artsy movie is if the movie only works because of its cast, it doesn't work. Yeah. Like the movie only works out. Like I feel like this movie will only be like looked at or regarded as possibly higher than it is because of that freaking A-listers.
Maybe what's your backlog of Wes Anderson movies?
I've seen parts of the Budapest Hotel.
Grand Budapest Hotel. Have you seen Moonrise Kingdom?
Yes.
Have you seen Life Aquatic?
No.
You should watch that one. That one's his best one of all time. Royal Tenenbaums is also fucking fantastic. Those I think are outlines of like what a good Wes Anderson movie kind of should be. And I mean, it's a Wes Anderson movie style. So coming into a movie like this, I feel like you need to have that kind of mindset that this is what it's going to be.
It's very true.
Not necessarily actors, but just like kind of the storyline. It's kind of the bizarre way the characters kind of take it also. And I think that's fun because there is a lot of, and I know we're not on it, but there is like a lot of kind of like inner character development within each of the actual characters. If you kind of like follow each of them close enough, if that makes sense. I don't know, not each of the actors, but like Jason Schwartzman's character and what he's going through. Like he's a photographer with his children, and it's those stories you got to kind of stick with. There's just a lot of garbage that's thrown in there as well, which I think is the point you're getting at.
Yeah. Let's see. Just looking at my notes real quick. Oh, the frickin' who knows what the hell he was. So when I think it's when Tom Hanks walks into Scarlett's cabin and comes into like the window, and then you see that random like agent kind of poke his head in and then disappear. Like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Like I'm like, okay, like are they getting like spied on? But then it's like it didn't come back whatsoever. Like I was looking for
Right.
him the rest of the movie. I'm like, all right, like where
Yeah.
is he?
You gotta look for somebody now.
Yeah, but that didn't end up turning into anything. It's all around. Like I found this really tough to follow, and like a big thing with like my story score, it's pacing, and the pacing here was off, like something awful. And again, like the story's hard to follow. Gets confusing at times. Like there's definitely things about it I enjoyed, but I think overall it's just I was not a fan.
That's fair. How
That's
not a
okay.
fan of you? What's
Yeah.
what's your score?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh God.
I thought this was like as average can get. Like I'm probably sitting maybe like 74.
Oh wow.
That's
All
actually a lot higher than I thought you were gonna be. I was afraid you were gonna be in the 60s, dude.
No, like it's not deserving of it of 60s. It's just like I came away from this movie thinking like what the hell was that? And I don't know. Like it took a lot of like reflection and like sitting on this movie for me to be like, okay, like I can kind of understand this. I can
Yeah.
kind of understand that. And I've come away from movies like that before where it's like I sit on it and it like starts to resonate a little bit differently with me, but I got something more out of it initially. Like I could walk away and be like, wow, that was really good. And then like start thinking and like, oh, like that part was cool or this was cool. And like thinking more and more and more about it. Here I was like, what the hell was that? And then like the more I think on it, it's just like, okay, I mean, that was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I left it being like thinking it was shit, and then like upon reflection, it moved up to average.
Yeah.
All right.
I get it.
Yeah. But what about you guys? What do you think?
I don't know, me. So this is actually my first like live action Wes Anderson movie I've ever seen. I've only seen his Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs. Love
wow.
love those two movies to death. Like honestly, probably in my top 10. Okay, maybe not Isle of Dogs, but Fantastic Mr. Fox is like probably my top 5 favorite animated films of all time.
Oh, wow.
I love that movie. So for my first introduction to his live action movies, like I definitely agree with where you guys are coming from. Like this movie is really out there. The alien thing that freaking just took me out. But like still, like when the credits started rolling, I was kind of just like, you know what, I had a good time. Like yeah, it was kind of hard to follow, but like for my first introduction to like an actual like live, I keep saying this, live action Wes Anderson movie, like I had a good time. I'm looking forward to seeing other works of his. I mean, honestly, I don't know why I've
top of the list.
Live
put
Aquatic. Okay.
Life Aquatic at the top of the list.
Okay.
With Bill Murray and stuff. I think Moonrise Kingdom is probably one of my favorites too. Moonrise Kingdom is really awesome. Cute.
Moonrise Kingdom was great.
Yeah.
How high would you guys put Grand Budapest Hotel?
It's up there.
Okay.
It's up there. I'd put Moonrise Kingdom higher. I would put Royal Tenenbaums higher. I would put Life Aquatic's definitely number 1. So
okay.
So those 3, I would say those are my favorites out of all of them, and then the rest are okay.
All right.
He doesn't make bad movies, but they're all okay. At least the rest.
No, that's fair. He's definitely one of those directors that like you know what you're going to expect, and it's very hard, I feel, for like new people to like fall in love with them.
Totally.
Like,
I mean, it's somebody that comes from set and props and stuff like that. Like some of the appreciation that you go in, and Life Aquatic too, because they like pretty much slice a whole boat in half and do that. And there's like shots that kind of go through the deck and like through the different decks
that's
of the
awesome.
boat and stuff. That's so fucking beautiful and so cool. But the story's great too.
Okay. So yeah, for like, but like story, like I said, definitely agree with honestly, absolutely agree with what you guys said. But like I think I still rather enjoyed the story for the most part.
Right.
So I don't know, I like slightly above Caleb. I'm gonna go 78.
I'm at a 79.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just I I don't think I minded it as much. Just I think just as far as the little stuff, which I think will more equate into the writing. I think I like the writing more than the story, but the two kind of formulate to me. So I thought it was okay. But yeah, he definitely has better stuff as far as the whole story goes.
Yeah.
I'm curious though, like, what are your thoughts? Have you seen Fantastic Mr. Fox or Isle of Dogs?
I actually have not seen either of them.
Real? Okay. I mean, if
No.
I had to pick, out of the two, Fantastic Mr. Fox, freaking God, I love that movie. I recommend it. And the freaking oh my God, what is it?
Hey Rose, you're getting called out.
DJ.
Sorry.
What up, DJ?
I'm sorry, DJ. The stop motion animation also in that movie is freaking beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So I recommend it like tremendously.
It's on the list.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Caleb still needs to watch it.
Yeah, I've been getting more and more of it on TikTok, and it's kind of made me like, okay, like I need to
Come
check
on,
this
man. It's so good.
But yeah, I think Wes Anderson's an acquired taste.
Definitely.
It's
love him or hate him, he's gonna stick with the same art style and directing style, and you just got to deal with that. Like I said, love him or hate him.
Yeah,
it's most of those big directors though too. I mean, like a lot of these original directors. I mean, I think Taika Waititi's a very acquired taste. I'm pretty sure Quentin Tarantino is a very acquired taste. Most people have that taste, but Christopher Nolan's an acquired taste. Like, have you seen, like, I mean, Oppenheimer is the first movie that I feel like he stays more linear. I mean, he still doesn't, but he stays more linear as opposed to like other movies. Like, he's all over the place with all of his other movies, I guess, except for Dark Knight. Dark Knight's a different beast.
Yeah. Like I know that their styles are like wildly different, but I kind of put Wes Anderson and the Coen brothers kind of in like the same ballpark, because I've noticed, and this is just kind of getting into writing, that Wes Anderson likes to throw a lot of, it's quick and very smart writing, and it's kind of hard to like absorb initially, at least for me. And maybe it's just because I'm like freaking ADHD is all hell, but it isn't like, I understand what's being said. It's just it's being said so quick, it takes me a little while to like absorb it. And then the Coen brothers, they kind of do the same thing, where it's very quick dialogue that's going, but it's almost like dumbed down just enough for me to understand it.
Right.
Where with Wes Anderson, I have to like sit and think about it for a minute.
That's fair. What's the newest Coen Brothers movie that's come out? Has it been a minute?
Did they do Hail Caesar, or was that someone else?
Let's see. Oh, it's the most. Oh, The Tragedy of Macbeth. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either. I think the last movie of theirs that I've seen was, was it freaking Buster Scruggs?
Oh, that was the Coen brothers? I totally forgot about that. My bad. Okay,
they've done like a lot of my like favorite movies, like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? They did like their claim to fame that's kind of got them going was wasn't it like Fargo?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty sure it was them.
Or no, they did Raising Arizona also. Yeah, so Raising Arizona is fantastic. So theirs is a little bit bizarre, but I think they kind of theirs is way easy to understand. They're not. I don't know if I would put them honestly in the same, because they take on a lot more serious subjects too. They did Miller's Crossing.
Yeah, like I'm just looking at their other stuff. I mean, they're like
The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, The Big Lebowski's the freaking bomb.
Yeah, No Country for Old Men. They take on some really darker movies also.
I do hold the new True Grit against them a little bit.
Burn After Reading, I hated.
Yeah. Let's see. They did Hail Caesar, Unbroken. That was freaking awesome.
Unbroken.
Yeah, Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Like a lot of those movies I freaking love.
Yeah.
Rose, for you, you've seen Bad Santa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did Bad Santa.
They did.
No shit.
I mean, it's on their
Oh my god.
videography.
Are you dude, that is like in my top 5 favorite Christmas movies.
Did they direct it or doesn't look like they wrote it?
Let's see.
It doesn't not. It says the directors were Mark
yeah.
Waters and Terry Zigwoff. So
Why the hell is that associated with them then?
Dude, you got my hopes up.
I know. I'm sorry.
I was like, that's a really bizarre one.
Dude, what the hell? What? Okay, don't listen to me.
Yeah, he also did Superbad.
Yeah. Man, yeah, I screwed that one up.
It's okay, man. We forgive you. It's okay.
Because I was just looked like freaking the Unbroken. That was directed by Angelina Jolie. So I don't know how they're freaking associated.
Well, Unbroken he wrote.
Oh, they wrote?
Or
Okay.
They wrote. Yeah, they wrote Unbroken. They wrote the screenplay for it.
Okay. That makes it a bit
I'm
more
like
sense.
seeing
Okay,
that they
so
had
they were executive
something?
producers on Bad Santa.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say because from what I've seen, it's just saying that they were uncredited for something on this. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Story by Ethan and Joel Cohen, uncredited. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, their last movie or their newest one that they directed was Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
No, it was Tragedy of Macbeth.
Or
yeah, definitely Tragedy of Macbeth with Denzel Washington.
Why is that not showing up in there?
Or maybe it was just Joel Cohen. So it wasn't by both of them. It was just by Joel.
Okay. Who am I?
That
Oh,
makes
I'm looking
sense.
at Ethan's right now.
Yeah, so it was done by the Cohen brother.
Okay.
I like that.
They've gotten more
Cohen brothers.
They've gotten more independent.
Gosh, it's hard when you get these like duos.
Yeah,
True.
But yeah, so like I said, getting into like the writing of this movie, it was very like quick-witted, or I wouldn't even say quick-witted. It was fast talking and very like intellectual. Like it kind of felt like I needed a couple dozen more IQ points to fully grasp what the hell was being said.
I don't think you do though, because I think most of it was made up. It's just like what they're like, oh, what's wrong with the car? Oh, well, the fiddly dink is loose. The fiddly dink, okay.
Yeah.
That's, what I mean? Like they kind of have like a Snoop Dogg way of kind of like creating his own things in there,
true.
which I can appreciate more, is because when writing, he's creating his own world. You know what I mean? I think that's why it kind of elevates for me with this, is because he's creating his own world in the writer for this play, who's creating another world inside. It's like the inception of a Wes Anderson movie. You know what I mean? Inside this, with characters writing for other characters and go in. And with Bryan Cranston with the narrator on top of it all. You know what I mean? So I think like kind of putting in, even if the story doesn't all kind of come together, man, there's a lot of like integral writing that goes into the actual characters there.
Yeah, I mean, like
good point.
I feel like that's like I feel like I'm making it sound like a bigger issue than it actually is to me, but like a lot of the writing I felt was really good. Like going back to the scene with the mechanic and him saying like, oh, what's wrong with the car? And he's like, well, I've only ever seen it be one of two things.
Right.
It could be this one thing where all I do is replace this like 75-cent part and then everything could be like good, or it could be this other thing where we have to do like a total rehaul of the engine. And then he pulls this part out, replaces it, and starts it up. And then the car like freaking explodes, and he's like, "It's the other one."
Doesn't he say it's option 3?
Yeah,
it was option 3. Yeah, because it spit it out like that crazy thing. He's like, well, Nope, never seen that one before.
Like I freaking loved that.
And a lot of the conversation, like I said, the writing between Scarlett Johansson and Jason Schwartzman in between the windows, like that all was like, if you get rid of most of the movie, like that, those interactions with like the photography and the stuff and her acting and that stuff that was going on, I thought was so fantastic and kind of like it pulled me away coming out of there. But those scenes kind of always pulled me in, and it was like a lot of really intelligent writing, I think, that went into those scenes.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I liked how, like, when she was doing like the rehearsal, that everything that she was like discussing, like, oh, like the talking about like the nude scene that she was going to do and like how they were going to like shoot it and everything, like it's exactly how it showed.
Yeah. Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, like they'll do it, like they'll do it from behind. It'll be very tasteful and whatever.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, and like the squirt, the reading the sides and stuff, like, oh, here, like line read with me or whatever, showing him, and then they were having a conversation integrated like in between almost this, and he'd read the line and they'd go through like the whole like her practicing her lines for her audition or whatever. Like I loved that. I thought that was all so cool, and you're still connecting like within the character and seeing their chemistry that starts to like pop up between them. You know what I mean? I think those are probably my favorite written scenes out of the entire thing, were those scenes right there.
Yeah, my personal favorite, and it like just the sequence is when it was like Tom Hanks with the three girls, and like he's trying to like bury them up.
Those are good.
Yeah, and it's like at the end, they're like he's trying to like take it out, and they're like putting up a big old fight, and he's like, okay, I guess we can do a quick little something here. And he says a little something, and he turns to Woodrow and just like, do you want to say anything? And he's like, I don't believe in God anymore. And he's like,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I laugh forever with that.
Yeah. Or even the conversation like that was amazing. That whole sequence was great, but the conversations between all the kids too, where they're like playing that game, they're trying to like, oh, let's like go through and we're gonna name like just people, and then you have to keep going through until somebody screws up, and then just keep going.
Oh my, yeah,
so good.
Yeah,
seriously.
The other like another scene that I actually liked too was when the kid who played Woodrow was talking to Scarlett's character in like the behind the scenes thing, like on the train.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like talking like I have a note from the director, and he's like, if like I have this one note if you're like raging mad, and this other one if you're if you're really upset. And then they both are just like you're super shitty, like they're like so mean spirited. And then he's like, and then I have this other one, I guess, if I probably should have read, where it's like, if you're cool and collected. And then it's like a super sweet note.
Yeah. She's just like, read that one, read this one. Just read them all. Yeah, so that was a good one. I forgot about that scene. It was a good scene.
It was.
Yeah, I like that stuff a lot.
Yeah.
So I put like a couple notes in here where like the difference between like the play and what I'm calling the play and the behind the scenes is like how I differentiated between the different scenes. And then I have like later, like, is this all the play? Like thinking like this was like all just one big performance that was crazy. And it got me real confused real quick. Another thing I freaking liked but felt super out of place was the Alien song that what's his face, like the little kid wrote. It started singing it, like how Maya, or how what's her face, is it Maya Hawke?
I think so.
How she's trying to teach them like planet stuff, and she's like, or this kid's like, oh, I built a spaceship, or like, oh, I drew a picture, and he's like, I wrote a song, and she's like, it's probably not the best time to, and then like the whole band comes in and is like, yeah, we learned this song last night, like to help this kid.
We'd
And
like
then
to back him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what the hell? I did notice in that scene what's the guy's name? The cow Montana. Like when everyone was setting up their instruments and everything, Montana, he pulled out a freaking steel guitar, but he never played it.
All right, I never noticed that.
Like
Didn't pick up on
like
that.
he came, like he set it up and he was sitting behind it for a minute. Everyone else started playing, and then like almost immediately he stood up to dance with the teacher.
Yeah, missed it.
Yeah. Oh, the kid that was freaking like asking like, you dare me to? That kid was so freaking weird.
Oh yeah, to jump off the roof.
Dare me to push this button?
Did anyone else kind of want to see him actually jump into the cactus, or was that just me? He seemed like a good kid, but like, I don't know. I kind of wanted to see, because like maybe that would make him learn his lesson, but at the same time, he jumped off a freaking roof. I don't think there's no saving this kid.
Yeah. Like, I think what got me too with like just how weird he is when his dad is like, why the hell do you want me to dare you to do all this stuff all the time? And he gives this like super deep answer, like, I'm just trying to find my place in the universe. I'm like, dude, what?
So you dare me?
Yeah.
Dare you to what? Jump in that or climb that cactus? No.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the writing I am putting a little higher though. I do think so where with story I put a 74. I think with writing I'm sitting at like an 81.
Oh, nice.
Okay, yeah, that's quite a big jump.
Yeah, it's a decent jump. I felt this was a lot better written than it was a story.
That's fair. I do have a question for you guys. When Steve Carell was going around like in the mornings asking, what's your certain type of juice you like? Is it apple, orange, or tomato? Would either of you actually choose tomato juice in the morning? I'm just curious.
I don't know anybody who would choose tomato.
Right. And the fact that Jason, I'm already forgetting his name. Jason Schwartzman's character actually says tomato at the end. I'm like, why? Like, come on.
It's just one of those other questionable decisions
Right.
made with this movie.
Yeah, fair enough.
I thought that initially when he's like, oh, in the morning, like what kind of juice do you want? I'm like, when he said tomato, I was just like, what the hell? Like, who the hell's picking tomato? And like, no one answered him until like Jason Schwartzman did. And I thought it was still pretty funny.
No, it was. But just, I can't imagine tomato juice in the morning. I'm good.
Yeah, that'd be a lot. Tomato juice at any point in the day.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'm sitting at an 87.
Okay.
It's a pretty decent jump from 79.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rose?
I absolutely agree with everything you guys have said. The writing was definitely more solid than the story. Especially with how you brought up, Mikey, with the scenes between Jason Schwartzman and Scarlett Johansson's character. Definitely agree. Those are like the best parts of the movie. Their discussions. And especially, I love the scene in the diner when he first takes the picture and she's the interaction that they have, and just like she doesn't really even put up a fight, which I freaking like. I loved that approach.
Why didn't you ask permission? I never asked permission. Oh. Why?
Man.
The photographer.
It's like the number one answer you just got to remember whenever someone asks, why are you doing this? Because I'm a photographer. They won't ask any other questions.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So I'm definitely above like you guys. So like I think I'm just slightly below Mykie, so I'm gonna go an 85. If my keyboard wants to work, that'd be nice.
All right, next up, moving on over to acting, we have Bryan Cranston, who played the host.
Right.
We have Edward Norton, who played Conrad Earp.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Schwartzman, who played Augie Steenbeck. Jake Ryan, who played Woodrow. I confused this kid with the guy who plays, I would say number 5 in Umbrella Academy.
Oh, really?
I just remember him from. Have you guys either of you seen 8th Grade?
No.
He's the.
Did we? I'm pretty sure we've seen that one.
I don't know if we watched it together or what. But I'll always remember him as like the No, he is annoying. He's the annoying love interest that like kind of comes out of nowhere because it's 8th grade. It makes sense. But like when the two characters like actually wind up together, I'm like, okay, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, this kid's he's from Moonrise Kingdom. That's what it is. Yeah, he's in the other stuff too.
Dude, this just confirms that this was Wes Anderson getting his buddies together to shoot something weird.
Oh, it's all of this. That's all these big actor stuff, though. They always get their buddies together to shoot whatever their next thing is. They all come out. The only person that didn't come out for this one is Bill Murray. But is he canceled right now? I don't know. No.
Who knows at this point?
I don't know. I feel it's like up in the air.
Canceled.
I feel, dude, seriously, straight up.
All right. So yeah, Jake Ryan, Scarlett Johansson played Midge Campbell. Grace Edwards played Dinah. Maya Hawke played June. Rupert Friend played Montana.
Oh yeah,
dude, I thought this dude was freaking Orlando Bloom for a minute. Really? He's like discount. He has like discount Orlando Bloom face.
He kind of does, honestly.
Budget Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, I feel like an asshole saying that, but I mean, come on.
They'll definitely keep him in mind for Pirates 6 if that ever happens.
All right. Jeffrey Wright played General Gibson. Hope Davis played Sandy Borden. Steve Park played Roger Cho. Liev Schreiber played J.J. Kellogg. Ethan Josh Lee played Ricky, which this dude looks like a freaking balls. What's his name? Oh, freaking Mr. Chow from Hangover.
Oh shit!
I just had his name.
Ken.
Yeah, Ken Jeong.
Yeah,
there we go.
He looks like a freaking young Ken Jeong. Gosh, that was bugging me. I had his name and it just like gone. All right.
Excuse me.
Aristau Mihan, who played Clifford, also known as the Dare Kid.
The Dare Kid.
Sophia Lillis, who played Shelley. Tom Hanks played Stanley Zack. Matt Dillon played the mechanic. Steve Carell played motel manager. Tony Revolori played aide de camp. Tilda Swinton played Dr. Hickenlooper. Jeff Goldblum played the alien. Okay, I did not think that he was going to be in it, like actual like physical face. I thought that they just threw that in as like some like, because I know that the alien made a little bit of a noise. I'm like, did Jeff Goldblum come in just to make a freaking noise and get credited as the freaking alien? But when I actually saw him in the suit, I was like, okay, there we go. Let's see. Adrian Brody played Schubert Green.
Yeah.
Dude, he did some weird shit. Like when he was like doing the freaking punching bag, but wasn't doing he was doing like an air punching bag when there was a perfectly good punching bag like right next to him. Like, what the hell? And then Willem Dafoe. Yeah, played Salzburg Keitel, and then Margot Robbie played actress/wife.
I forgot about William Dafoe. He only came in for about a scene, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about. It was after the alien sighting. that he
Right.
came in and was
Right.
talking about like the quarantine and everything.
Right.
Yeah. So everyone list off their top 3.
Well, definitely Jason Schwartzman
Oh yeah,
for sure, hands down.
Oop, wrong one.
Yeah, he's definitely number 1. I would say Scarlett Johansson is also
Like your number 2.
yeah, or 3. Man, who else would I put up? I mean, Edward Norton. Yeah, those are all tough-ish characters.
Yeah. Gosh, I'd have to agree with you on that. Well, okay. I think I would replace my number 3. So number 1 would be Jason Schwartzman.
Right.
2 I would give to Scarlett Johansson, but I think I'd give my number 3 to Jake Ryan.
He's really good.
Dude, Caleb, we got the same list, man.
Do we really? Yeah, that doesn't happen very often.
No, it does not.
He's mad good. He's in a lot of scenes.
Yeah, freaking. I thought he was like like awkward enough to like match the energy of like the scenes around him.
As
and
far
how
as
ridiculous a lot of this stuff was.
Yeah.
As far as directing goes, what Wes Anderson also does have is like, because obviously his style is so unique, and that goes down to the acting. Like, it's such a bizarre acting style, and I don't like, only a director I think can bring that type of personality out of somebody. But to be able to do it, and he's done it a bunch of times with kids, and with him especially, I mean, he did it with him in Moonrise Kingdom and stuff like that, to be able to like get that character and do it so flawlessly. It's like, it's kind of astonishing.
Yeah. Well, I think his like even like his writing style, like it has a level of awkward to it.
Yeah.
That I think for anyone of any acting ability, like especially like with kids, like if they're new to acting, I think that's like pretty. It's attainable.
I don't know. I look at that and I was like, man, I don't know how, like that, like you're saying, that scene where they're naming all the names. It's like, how many takes did this take for them to like nail this? Like, because this is some hard shit.
Yeah, dude, I don't think you could freaking do that with young kids.
I can't do 3 of those names. Like, like, oh my god,
I got lost after the first 2.
yeah. It's like,
dude, I did too. I tried following along and I was like, nope. I was like, I can remember Cleopatra, and then like the next one came out. I'm like, oh no.
Weren't they like throwing in like stuff to also like throw each other off?
Yeah, like, here's my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, hell no, dude. I'd freaking lose round 1 immediately.
But yeah, he did a good job for all that he had to do, because one, he needed to play like the son and kind of moderate, because he had a weird relationship with his dad too that was trying to kind of come together, but then also keep together with his sisters, who their parents just died or whatever, but also with trying to compete in this science fair project thing that was going on at the same time.
Yeah,
it's a tough role. He did an amazing job at it.
He did.
Yeah. So where are you guys sitting with acting?
Probably 88, honestly. The acting, I think this is a tough acting movie, and I think they do really good, and the characters are so out there. It's not like going and playing like, oh, this story about a husband and a wife, you know what I mean? They're very unique characters, and you've got to become a character to be able to do this. I think there's a reason why all these actors work for pennies to be able to work on something like this, because it gives them a challenge. So if they do it right and everything, I think I want to bump it to 89, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Just below an A.
What are you thinking, Rose?
Yeah, I got to match Mykie. Like, everything that he said, like, absolutely agree.
Man, you guys are going to make me the asshole here, huh? I'm only a few points below, though. I'm sitting at like an 86.
You son of a bitch.
I think it was like a lot of the I'd say extras, but there weren't really many extras.
Yeah, the town had only 86 people.
Yeah, so I guess chalk it up to me being an ass. So
it's fine.
He finally admits it.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think anybody's winning an Academy Award for this, but I think it's definitely
that's fair.
I would be shocked if anyone did.
Honestly, the only things that I see like this getting nominated at the Academy Awards would probably just like be like for production design.
Production design for sure.
Like, but I don't know if like you could really like argue anything else.
But I think it will be nominated for production design. But let's be real, Barbie's going to win production design. Like, that's a done deal.
Oh yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moving on over to character development. I don't know about you guys, but I ended up doing this on Augie.
Same.
Yeah, so this is a tough one because it's like I don't know if I think not really Augie himself. I think it was like the guy who played him. Like I don't know if they ever got into like the actor's like actual name, but like I know it's.
I don't think they did.
Not Jason Schwartzman, like the character he played to play Augie.
Yeah, I get it.
I freaking hate this meta shit. Yeah, like I thought him finding finding out who his character is was really interesting. Like I liked how he like took that moment to like go out and to like do that smoke break, and like I thought the scene with him talking to Margot Robbie was really good, and him just being like, just play the character, like it's just tell the story. And I think that was kind of like, I viewed that as maybe Wes Anderson technically admitting that he doesn't know what the hell this story is about.
Oh, maybe.
Because I'm like, that seems way too out there, or like right in your face for it to not mean anything. So I was like, like that seems maybe like some self-awareness is peeking through. But I thought like that did a decent thing for the character, like kind of like realizing who he's playing finally.
Did you comment on anything in development of his character in the play?
Oh, in the play, not really. I it was hard to get a read on him.
No, I think but I think that's the character, but I think there's a lot of development too if you're just thinking of all the things that go with what he's doing, with like you have the loss of his wife and trying to like take care of it with the kids. And then I think where it came from was mostly, again, that Scarlett Johansson scenes, to where he's just like kind of slowly starting to develop a new crush. Or maybe it's too quick. I don't know. Maybe it's in a negative kind of way too, but and then coming out and like trying to make peace with the kids and burying his mom at the end. I mean, his wife at the end. I thought there was a little bit there. And I think there was a lot of character development. If I'm going to do full character development and pick a character I'm probably doing Edward Norton's character, because the whole entire freaking story is pretty much about his character development and ending in his eventual demise,
Right.
I think it meant more too when I thought that scene where they kiss too was like him finding his character along the way too. Like that's where it meant a lot more for me. But now that you read that from the Wikipedia page, I was like, okay, maybe they just lost a couple clicks. That's like a defining moment in a writer. Like, I did it! I found my character.
Yeah. This was a tough one.
What'd you put?
Yeah, I'm curious.
This one, I'm back down to the 70s, but I think I'm sitting around like a 76.
Oh,
okay.
Like it was just one of those. It was all right, but just average. Like if it was above, it's barely above for me.
Sure.
Okay.
What about you guys?
On like I get where you're coming from with like the whole like not actually in the play with Augie, because I thought it was very interesting where all of a sudden like the scene would cut to him taking off his beard, be like, oh I still don't understand this character,
right,
all that stuff. But then like I honestly like loved his character development in the actual play. Like I especially love the scene when he sits down with his kids, and I believe Tom Hanks is there too. And he
Right.
says like, my plan was, just to have you guys go live with your grandpa, and then I was just going to leave. I was just going to
Right.
take off. But I'm
I
not
was
going to
gonna
do
come
that.
back, but
Yeah. But, I love how Woodrow's just like, oh well, I believe you, and I forgive you, and I understand where you come from, and then that's it. Like they don't talk
Yeah.
about it anymore after that. Which, you know what, honestly, like I kind of love that kind of stuff, just short, sweet, and to the point. Like we don't
Right.
have to keep dwelling on it throughout the whole production. So just those kind of moments, his scenes with Scarlett Johansson, like the idea that he was struggling with finding the character while the character was also struggling. I don't know. I kind of really liked that. It actually really worked for me. So yeah, honestly, I'm definitely above Caleb in this, and he's probably gonna hate me. I'm like an 82 for character development.
I'm 81.
Okay.
I mean, I definitely saw the character development, but and I liked the high points and the peaks and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the only thing keeping it down is there could be something to say with, and it's a lot of Wes Anderson characters, is they are stone faced a lot of times, and there's not really, like, if emotion bled out a little bit more, then I would probably rank it a little bit higher. And I do, like you said, there is character development, and you do see it very clearly, and same with all the points that Rose said. So definitely a B, 81.
Very nice.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah. I mean, I understand that I'm not going to get something out of this as much as you guys might, because I don't know. I think out of all the categories, I think I struggle the most with finding like the character development, but yeah, just didn't resonate with me like maybe it did with you guys, or like it's definitely didn't.
Oh, dude, completely understandable.
You
All
can
right,
feel
moving
it,
on.
so there's that.
Yeah. All right, moving on over to effects. Dude, this is a mixed bottle for me.
So
Damn,
with set
none of my
design, I
pens are working.
forget. Do we put set design in effects or costumes?
Set design, I'd throw more into effects.
Okay, all right. Okay, then yeah, I'm definitely gonna agree with you on that, because I'm assuming what's killing you is the alien. But like
the alien for sure,
okay,
is killing.
But like,
it.
is like all the sets and like Asteroid City itself, is that like the saving grace?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
the
definitely whole
definitely.
movie. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page here.
Yeah. I took some notes on this, so I put. Okay, so the scene, like it's the first scene with the daughters and Tom Hanks. It is very, like, almost painfully obvious that they are on a green screen. Like it was rough, because like it was weird, because it's like when they were standing up, or when Tom Hanks was standing up, it looked like real, but once he like was down, like on the ground, like kneeling on their level, it was like super green screen.
What scene is this?
So it's the scene where the daughters are burying the Tupperware.
Oh,
Like
at the end.
when at the beginning, when Tom Hanks first comes into the picture.
Okay, so the first time. Okay.
Yeah. And they were like burying their mom in that little area where they were doing their fake witchcraft and whatnot. And Tom Hanks was like, all right, whatever, we'll just come back and get her before we leave.
Oh, right.
So yeah, so when he's like kneeling down with the three girls and trying to like explain to them like what's happening, or like, oh, they coming to live with me and all this other stuff, like it was super obvious green screen. And then he stands up, and then it's like back to being like looking real, like almost like they
look it up, because I if it was, it flew over my head.
Yeah, like I noticed, like it was, you can tell pretty distinctly by the shape around. It's mostly like noticeable around Tom Hanks. but I also noticed it on the girls. So the girl on the left, I think she's wearing fairy wings or something. You can kind of see on her hair, it starts to like fade. Like they just did a feathering on her, like if they rotoscoped her.
Interesting.
So yeah, there's like, it's like a really light feathering on her hair. And then you kind of see it on her fairy wings too, where
Damn.
it's like maybe the tips of the wings are like really faded.
I
And
missed it.
Yeah, I did too. You got some good eyes for that, man.
I've been watching a lot of like visual effects artists react, and like they point shit out that I've just become a little bit more like hyper aware of.
Yeah.
All right.
And a lot of the times they're like, if you notice something like and it immediately feel like, oh, that's fake, it probably is.
Fair.
All right.
And so yeah, that was like something like in motion, I think it's a little harder, but I had it paused and was just kind of like looking over it, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of noticing some funky stuff going on there.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
Well, aside
Yeah,
from
like
the green screen thing, I think, I mean, man, it is really going to be tough if you're clumping in production design into this category, just like with the amount of miniatures and all that sets that because they've built every single piece of this, and that moving miniature train as they go through in the beginning, I think it looks so cool. And like, I think that's why I show up to a lot of Wes Anderson movies, just to see these pieces, you know?
Agreed.
yeah.
So I don't know how to. The alien sucked.
The alien was.
that
If this is the category
horrid.
we're putting in the alien and stuff like that, I wish we could add another category for this, because I would give like
So
production
if you-
design like a 95%. And then
here's something that I kind of do to cheat a little bit is if there's like a really big distinction, like what I will do is like I'll do this with like practical and special. So like if the practical effects are good but the special effects are like meh on something, I'll give the special effect or the practical effects a score, and then I'll give the practical effects, and then I'll just average it.
okay.
All right.
So if you want to do that, like if you want to give a special score to the production and then a different score for like the other special effects, like we can definitely do that.
Okay. Let me see. I would just do those as a total. Let's just go. I would just go 89. Just I can't take
89.
like the sets are just too fucking fantastic. It's got to keep it up. As horrible as that alien is, if this is what's going to go into like the overall best thing about the whole movie, then yes, it's going to be 89.
I don't like. Don't get me wrong, I hated the alien, but like maybe I not that I liked it. No, I didn't like it at all. But I think the sets just like won it by one more point than Mykie. So I'm gonna crack 90s.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes just to see if there's like anything else that was like special effects wise.
Yeah, visually,
My note for the alien was, what in the ever loving hell was that alien?
like realistically, the alien is like only the one thing that wasn't good about that, and I
Yeah.
feel like it was even done on purpose, which kind of
You know
sucks, but-
what? Like have I don't think Caleb's seen it, but Mykie, have you seen Frankenweenie, the like remake that Tim Burton
No.
did of it? Okay. I now know what that monkey that just spoiled it. That alien reminded me of. It reminded me of these. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's spot on.
Right? Yeah, it reminded me of the freaking sea monkeys.
Yeah, that is what it looks like.
Oh shit.
Yeah, if you were to take the alien out completely, the special effects, and like I feel like some of like the more like the other like weird shots, like there's one when they're at the telescope. I know Woodrow's like on the telescope, and then Dinah climbs up on top with him. It felt like they didn't properly strap down the camera because it like started like shaking. Like when she got on, when she was climbing up the ladder, like it was kind of like shifting back and forth a little bit.
Turned
And
into a
then,
Hunger Games situation.
huh?
Turned
Not
into
quite
like a
Hunger Games level, but it was just kind of like it didn't feel intentional.
Right.
Because she's like climbing up, and then it's smoothed out. Like it was while she was climbing up, and then she does her little dialogue with Woodrow, and I think it makes like a cut, and then it starts get like the camera feels like it's more solid, and then like it does that weird thing where it turns and then turns back, and they're like messing with the controls, and then everything else there felt like it was how it's supposed to, but it was just while she was climbing up, it was like kind of had that like rocking back and forth, like they just kind of set the camera somewhere and hope for the best on a
They could have.
maybe
I
like on a
missed it
set
too.
piece that was a little bit more flimsy than they were planning on it.
Do they still do director commentaries on like? I mean, I probably should know
A
this.
lot of DVDs they do.
They still do.
Yeah.
I feel bad for not knowing that. So I'm like curious if Wes Anderson did do one for Asteroid City, and if he talked about that.
I would love to watch this movie with that commentary.
Yeah. I'll check because I haven't bought this on Blu-ray yet. Kind of waiting for like, because don't worry, like really enjoy this movie, but I don't want to pay like $25 for it. So like I'm waiting for it to hit like the sweet spot of like 15, 16. But no, when it does hit that, I'll definitely let you know if there is a commentary.
Hell yeah.
So what's
so
your
yeah, I
rating?
think that was the other. So yeah, I'll give it an 87.
That's not bad. That's actually a lot higher than I thought Caleb was going to be too.
Like Wes Anderson films, like any movie I've seen, the sets and everything are freaking beautiful.
The sets is what it is. Yeah, it's like a lot of the sets and the cinematography. It's just very. It's beautiful.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's like watching a painting.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty
Rob
much.
Ross would be proud.
Dude, if there's anything that I wish that
Little trees.
productions would bring back, it would be matte paintings.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch?
Agreed.
Did you see that? What was it? The fucking the special effects company that Star Wars created. What the hell is the name of it? It's gonna kill me now if I don't fucking remember. Anyways, I'll find the name. But while I'm doing that, there's a documentary on Disney Plus, like a docuseries that shows like the birth of like what it was done, because George Lucas formed it when he was making the first Star Wars film, and then they went on to like make every single like major film in Hollywood. Like they're the ones that kind of went through, and they were hired on Jurassic Park, and then they were the ones that like first were the ones that were like, oh, we can do the dinosaurs digitally, and then what was it? Spielberg was like, oh no, you can't, nobody can do digitally and make it look good. And then he was like, well, they're like, well, here's a little example. And he's like, holy shit. So they were the first to do digital also, and the practical and the miniatures effects, and down to where they did. There's a whole docuseries about like the birth and how it used to be like a frat house back in the day, and how they used to have a hot tub in the thing, and people would just come and just do whatever work that they want, and then they would leave. What is it? George Lucas.
Dude, I freaking love the documentaries like that give you like a little bit more background on
ILM.
shit.
Yeah. If you go to Disney Plus. I mean, actually, don't go to Disney Plus because they're the devil right now. But when the strike is over, go to Disney Plus and look up the ILM docuseries, because it's like, man, you'll be captivated for like the next fucking 10 hours and just watch it through, because the amount of like movies and directors they have, and every single giant director in the whole industry uses them, because they're like the cutting edge of everything. Like once everything went digital, it was like a big thing, like learn how to use the computers and do what you're doing now digital, or you got to leave. And people got upset about that. But that was the way the industry was going. So it's what it is now. But it's cool to see that, how the shift happened and everything. And they were designing cameras to do special shots through the miniatures, and like designing full rigs and like booms and stuff like that. It's fascinating.
Huh.
Yeah, dude, that stuff is freaking nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's why I like watching those visual effects artists react videos so much, is because like they do a deep dive on like the histories of of shit like that, like
Yeah.
motion control, like the cameras, the matte paintings, like one of the more
matte
famous
paintings
ones.
are so sick.
Yeah.
The matte paintings ones are so sick. There's a whole that's where I was getting at too. There's a whole episode that's just on like people who just are hired to do like the matte paintings and stuff like that on glass and like the shift throughs and stuff. Yeah, it's
Dude, they were showing
awesome.
For Citizen Kane, like they had a matte painting for that. It was like when he's addressing like the big crowd. They were showing that like what they did is they cut like they did it on glass, and then they cut little slits, and then they had like stuff moving behind it, so it looked like the crowd was like had movement about it.
Oh, cool.
And
That's awesome.
Like some bitch freaking bugs. But yeah, like super sick.
Yeah.
All right. But moving on over to music. So this one's out of 10. So yeah,
At least
there
for me,
wasn't
the
a lot of
freaking
music with this.
I kind of gotta disagree. I don't know. I freaking love this soundtrack, especially the opening song and the ending song. Like, yeah, I freaking love the
score was
soundtrack.
okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed, dude.
I was.
Really?
Yeah, I freaking loved it.
Nothing's popping for me or coming to mind like crazy.
Yeah, I know we kind of include audio in this, and this is like such a weird thing. So when Montana is walking around, did any of you notice that when he was walking, he like you'd hear the ching ching like with spurs, but he wasn't wearing any freaking spurs.
I didn't pick up on that. He wasn't wearing any.
I didn't pick up on it either. I mean, what's only coming to mind with even sound effects is the of course, that's what a spaceship sounds like.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else. Like,
I mean, nothing stuck out like crazy to me, but nothing was also bad enough to be like, oh man, what the fuck are they playing? You know what I mean? So it was perfectly mediocre.
I'm trying to remember because I know like the ending song is Freight Train, but I forget what the opening song is. Let me wait 1 second.
Like they had some music in the background. I know, like I recognize a lot of like the country music they were playing in the background.
Like the opening song when they're just saying all the cast and everything and the shot of the train, the song is Last Train to San Fernando, and then the last song is just Freight Train. So like those two songs just like really stuck out to me that like made me enjoy the soundtrack probably made a little more than you guys did.
So they Googled what songs have trains in them.
Yep, pretty much. There we go. Perfect. We got our opening and we got our closing songs.
Yeah.
Gosh, there was something else that I wanted to hit on, but I forgot. Anyway, this is one of those as average you can get.
Yeah.
For me. So I'm at like
so
a 5.
Here. Are you what?
I did 6.
I can be talked up to a 6, honestly.
Damn,
this one
I was at
I won't be the one to do it.
I was at an 8.
Oh,
an
wow.
8?
Yeah, dead serious.
Shit.
Just for the two train songs?
Like seriously.
Wild.
Like dead serious.
All right. So this one, since like it's not unanimous, it's closer to a 6. So yeah, that's what we'll end up giving it. So it's like a 6.3, and since we round whichever way it's closer, so we'll be giving this a 6.
If I had to be on,
dude.
Okay, if I had to, if I'm really thinking about it, it's more so a 7.
I'm still being a
mind.
Yeah, still on a 6 either way.
Yeah, true. But like, I think I've come down from my train high, and I think I will like even though Caleb says it's non. What did you say? It's what non? I don't know English today.
What the soundtrack?
You said it was non something, or am I just losing my mind here?
I think you're just losing your mind. I don't know what
All
you're
right, that's
talking
cool.
about.
That's cool. All right. But yeah, if I will I will be at more so a 7. So there we go. Okay.
All right. Well, then
Are you happy?
still averages out to a 6.
Are you happy now, Caleb?
Oh man, dude, that could have been a freaking fight right there.
Oh,
all right.
shit.
Next up, we got costumes.
That alien costume just takes it down a couple notches for me. Everything else could be fantastic. That alien costume just is rough, man.
Seriously, though.
At first, I thought it was just like an animated thing, but then I saw Jeff Goldblum with like the head off, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Well, I think
costume.
So I think like when we see Jeff Goldblum like with the mask off, I think that's like what the suit's supposed to look like behind the scenes.
Sure.
And then what we saw was like how it looked in like the TV production.
Yeah.
Because apparently, like, or whatever the hell that was. So that was my justification for like the differences. Because like, I mean, you had like the real skinny, like long, lanky.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
and
nothing against Jeff Goldblum, but he is not that slim when it comes to his figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think there was a difference between like the stage play and what we were seeing with like the studio production.
Yeah.
So that like I said, that was my justification for it. Like whether or not that was the case, like who knows? But yeah. Everyone else though, I mean, their attire was appropriate for.
It's tonal, so it's like they definitely have to stick to a certain color tone with their what is it? Does it take place in the 70s or something like that?
I'd say 60s, 70s.
60s, 70s. Steve Carell with that visor thing that he has.
Oh my god, I loved that so much.
Dude, my grandma used to have one of those.
Same.
Very like New Mexican Western kind of look to it. They all have like the little necktie like thing.
When did you guys say the time period?
Wasn't it like 60s, 70s?
That's what I was thinking.
On Wikipedia, it says 1950s.
50s. Okay. I could see that too.
All right.
I mean, it's decent. It looks like.
Yeah. I mean, it was time appropriate. I don't think there was any like outstanding costume. I think I'd be somewhere in like the 7 range.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
All right. And last up, we got our own personal scores. So who wants to?
If you're talking about like Wes Anderson movies as wholes and everything like that, am I going to be watching this again? Probably not. I don't think I'm going to be running back to do it. I think I got all I needed from this movie. I don't think it was a terrible movie. I enjoyed it. I had fun. It had some good elements to it. It's like I said, it's not at the top of my list though. I think I would give it as a total score, or personal score, probably 79 to be honest with you.
All right. Rose?
So like I said earlier, this is like my first live action Wes Anderson movie. Only seen his 2 animated films, Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs. And but I definitely agree with what you guys said. I feel like it was a good introduction for me. I definitely look forward to checking out all the other titles that you gave me, Mikey and Caleb. So like it definitely got me excited to see more of this style of his work. So I think I'm just slightly higher than Mikey. I'm going to go an 81.
Oh man. I
hated it.
I won't say I hated it, but I didn't. Even with like the reflection that I've had, I do think it's a better movie than what I initially came out of it thinking it was. but this is definitely one I'm probably never going to see again.
Right.
If I see it for anything, it's going to be to listen to the director's commentary.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't exist, no way. I'm I'm not coming back to it. And for me, this is like one of the more below average movies I've seen.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to give this a 70.
Oh, wow.
Wow, damn.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it more than Bros, I guess.
What? I'm sorry.
I did not care at all for that movie. Here's the thing. I thought that this movie was going to be a lot. I came out of it thinking it was worse than what I thought it was going to be going in. I think that was probably expectations going into this movie. I also think I had more going in because I worked on the pop-up event here in LA for it, and I recreated a lot of set pieces for this. So I had a little bit more like personal investment in it and wanting it to be amazing. So I think that disappointed me a little bit too.
That is so freaking cool, man, that you did
Yeah,
that.
we redid the entire cafe, and then we redid a couple of the cabins, those white cabins and stuff like that. Built a couple of the carts for like the main fair event when the alien has been sighted here, and it started coming through. Oh, and we redid like a miniature part of the crater with like that little stage setup with the podium and stuff like that. I rebuilt that. So
Dude, that is so
sick.
badass.
yeah, it looked really cool. If you Google Los Angeles or Asteroid City pop up, you'll see pictures of it.
Dude, I'm definitely
Nice.
looking that up.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that concludes this week's breakdown. So, going through these categories, starting off with story, it did not have a strong start. We were sitting at a 77.
Yeah, makes sense.
Writing got a pretty significant boost, sitting at an 84.33. Acting got a little boost from that as well, sitting at a very solid 88. Character development took a bit of a dive, sitting at a 79.67. Our effects score jumped right back up, sitting at an 88.67. Music, we ended up averaging out to a 6 out of 10. Costumes was a unanimous decision with a 7 out of 10. And our personal score, brought down by me, was sitting at a 76.67. So with that, the final All Bros and Failing Hollywood letter grade for Asteroid City has come out to a...
Drum noise, drum noise, drum noise, drum noise, drum noise, drum noise. I feel it's not as loud on this table, so I got to get like a miniature drum set, dude. That's what I need to do.
I just need to get like a little soundboard.
Yeah, I was just say I don't think I got a thing. I have a horn, but I don't think that kind of goes with the. I don't have the drums though. I have crickets. I don't know what I could play for this. That's close to drum noises. Sorry.
Love it though.
I ended up coming out to a B minus.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, it. Let's see what our cutoff.
I have a
for
feeling
B
it's like a
minus.
soft B minus. Is it?
It's on the softer side. So our cutoff for a
No.
B minus is an 80. This ended up getting an 81.16.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a full percentage. It's like it's got a full percentage pillow.
Yeah.
What I really want to see is what's in front and what's behind it. Let's be real. Like that's how we really know how we did.
That's true.
Yep.
It's very true.
All right. Oh, where'd it go? So Asteroid City, like I said, sitting at an 81.16, sitting at a B minus. So this is like right in the middle. So this is all these other movies are going to be B minus movies. So it is sitting below The Matrix Reloaded. It is below Birds of Prey.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sitting below The Bad Guys.
Oh, that's that Ryan Gosling movie, or
No, that's The Good Guys. The Bad Guys is the DreamWorks animated.
It's cool.
Now, when you said it, I was like, all right, that was a valid question. All right.
It is below Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny,
Yeah.
which
Really?
funny enough you were on.
Yeah.
And then it is also below Spiral.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. That's like the one that I would disagree with. I'd probably put this above Spiral.
Spiral's the Chris Rock Saw movie that came out. If you're
Really?
here,
Okay.
let's do one that I think you might know. It's below Rogue One.
Well, Rogue One got a B-?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you guys. Are you serious? Oh my god.
Yeah,
I got one
get
for that.
What the fuck
We
did
get
you
that.
say?
Yeah, we get that a lot.
Yeah, we do.
All right, going the opposite direction. It is sitting above Peter Pan and Wendy.
Okay, thank God.
It is sitting above Deadpool 2.
I would watch Deadpool again.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I forgot Deadpool 2 was that low.
I know.
Yeah.
I did too, but let's see. It is above Dune.
I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with that too, but I know a lot of people are not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But
That
the
movie
new
is just
Dune, right?
boring as fuck to me. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's the
it
new
was
one.
super boring. Every time I talk about that on my podcast too, like I'm very unpopular opinion there. I was like, we don't need a second part. We didn't even need a first part.
No. Seriously.
Yeah. All right, let's see. It's above the original Top Gun.
Nah, sorry, that's a classic. No way.
Dude, B- is probably where things get like super controversial.
Hazy, yeah.
B is a little bit more like, okay, B+ is a little bit like a bit more agreeable.
Yeah.
And then like our A- and A movies are pretty agreeable, but yeah, B- and I think C+ are usually where things get like a little
Yeah.
dicey.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's also above Nomadland.
I mean, that was a trash movie, so yeah, I get that. Man, nobody shits in a bucket next to
Damn.
their bed. I'm sorry. That doesn't. I lived in a van for 6 months. That doesn't happen. The only van for like a mile, and you're still shitting in your van next to your fucking bed. Disgusting.
I think I need to watch that movie again because I haven't
No, you
watched it
don't.
since we were. No, because like I feel like mine and Caleb's like or grades were just like so different that I'm just like maybe I hyped it up a little too much or something like that. I should probably revisit it. But you know what?
That movie was
point.
overhyped. That movie was super overhyped throughout. I mean, I don't know. I think they just got like, it went off like, oh my God, check out this movie Frances McDormand did for like less than $250,000. It's fantastic. And it really, it was really stretching, you know?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be, I mean, the only thing they have going for it, I guess, is character development. But realistically, I don't think it has that going for it either, because at the end of the movie, she ends up exactly where she started off. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
true.
But yeah, that's for a different show, I guess.
Dude, that was the like just talking about like from like our podcast perspective, that was also the one episode where I had the hardest time coming up with something to do for the artwork.
Yeah.
I was like,
I remember that.
I was like, screw it, just did something like super basic. Like I think I put it like the back of a van,
Yeah.
like sticker.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, like on a van or something like that.
Yeah, it is lame. But yeah, so that's where it ended up ranking.
Nice.
Yeah, I think this one's a little less controversial than
It's
last
okay.
week's.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. Well, with that, I think that wraps this episode up. So thank you to everyone that has listened. Mykie, would you like to tell everyone where they can find you and everything that you do?
Yeah. We are Failing Hollywood. We're a podcast of prop dudes that just do a show with a lot of different people on. Our guest list for next week or not next week, I guess, because we're going to have a bunch banked. And a couple weeks is going to be pretty fantastic. We have a Mighty Duck we're interviewing.
Oh, shit.
That's
An
awesome.
actual Mighty Duck is coming to the studio, and we're interviewing him. So come and check out for that. We have a dude that was a contestant on The Circle coming in. If you like Netflix reality television shows, you'll be in for that. So yeah. We're having conversations with people. It's going to be great in the film industry about film stuff. You can check us out on Podbean, on all the streaming platforms, wherever. Check us out on Facebook at Failing Hollywood, Instagram Failing Hollywood. We're now on TikTok. We're on TikTok now, also at Failing Hollywood. So go check that out on all the socials and stuff like that. You'll be able to find me there.
Hell yeah. All right. And if you want to hear more of our stuff as well, be sure to follow and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. We are basically everywhere. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or is it still Twitter or is it X now?
It's X now.
It's X. Okay, so we're on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok, all at the All Bros. We are, we're on Letterboxd now too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm doing a bad job of keeping up with it, but we're on there.
Yeah, I do all Letterboxd also. Mine just looks like a crazy person though because of all the Nick Cage.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So you can find us there. If you want to hit us up with an episode idea, want to join us for an episode, or want to answer our question of the week, be sure to follow and subscribe on any of those social medias. You can also find links to everything that we do, tinyurl.com/the Allbros. One day we will be getting a big boy website once I figure out how to do that. Oh, balls. I probably should have pulled that script up, but I don't. Anyway, yeah. So you can find links to everything that we do. Next week, we will be breaking down, I think I don't know who produced it. Like, it seems like it might be DreamWorks, but I don't think it's DreamWorks. It's on Netflix. It's a movie called Nimona.
Mm.
And it looks super good. Super excited to see it. So yeah, we'll be breaking that down next week. But until then, this has been the All Bros podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we will catch you guys next week. Deuces.
So long.
Oh, you're lame.
Screw you.